Who do you think's in control of
You're a
sex? Men or,
misogynist.
who do you think's in control of sex, men or women?
Oh, women.
So then wouldn't you say it's women's fault for giving out sex for free?
So let's not get this confused. I am 100% that women are not being held accountable at all, right? But there's a balancing factor. Why can that coexist? Yes, we aren't holding each other accountable or things like that, but there's still a standard of men allowing that we aren't held accountable.
But
that's the only thing that I'm saying. That's the only thing I'm saying.
But sweetheart, what we've already proven is that it's not the majority of men. It is a 5 to 10% that women are choosing to give their bodies to and lay down with. Do you know there are between 18 and 30, there are, I think the number's 3 times the number of men who are virgins than there are than women who are virgins. Women can run through body count and run through. I did a video where I talked about how I read women's body counts, like women anonymously, business women. These were not women that were strippers and for the street. They actually gave their body count. There was a 29-year-old woman that had 150 plus. And she said, I wish it was higher.
Oh, my God.
And even women who had low body count, low numbers of men, they said it should be higher. They actually feel embarrassed, like I should be living little. And I used to feel there's no shame about it. If you ask the same men, unless they are certain looks, they have a certain amount of looks or money, in status, they can't get the average woman. If all of us women went outside right now and was just like, listen, come back to the crib, let's go to the car, let's go to the alley, I'm gonna bust it down for you. I'm gonna give it to you.
Yeah.
We can rack up the whole city. We can rack up all of London in one night if we chose to. But a men, if they can go outside, even if they look good, even if they have the status, they still have a level of work. They maybe on a good night can maybe get 2 if they are just really, really, really.
I'm getting a whole club. You talking about?
Boy, stop.
Women have sex with who they want. Men have sex with who they can.
And only one of them changes the outcome of their relationships in the future. I mean, I'm not going to say that it has no impact, but which one has significantly more? If a man sleeps with 100 women, can he settle down? I would argue still probably. But if a woman sleeps with 100 men, she can't.
Men care about quantity. Women care about quality of the women. So if I see, I'm like, that's your ex-girlfriend? That's who you slept with? Like, if she's like a bust down, or I know she's a known hoe, or the dude just slept with prostitutes, we would be upset as women. A man will care about the number of men that she has slept with. We care about the quality, because we're almost like, that's why if a man has other women around him who look good, other women around him that look good, or his girlfriend looks good, he's like pre-qualified. We're just like, oh, he's got a baddie. It incites like he's pre-qualified. Whereas we care about it. But if we see a good looking guy with like a girl that looks terrible, we're like, he's probably broke. He's probably this. I won't want him. A man doesn't care about that. All he cares about is quantity.
What were you going to say?
But to the point, right? It's 80% of women who are out here doing these things. It's 5 to 10% of men who are sleeping with them, but they are running through the 80% of women, and now they are disqualifying them from being good wives. So it first needs to start.
That's their choice.
Disagree.
It first
But the women are opening their legs.
The
women hold them accountable. The women are opening their legs. You just said that women control sex. How are the 80% of men just running through these women?
So
are you saying it's not consensual?
Accountability needs to start with women and locking that down and not doing that, right? So then the 5 to 10% of men who are running have no place to go. Right? That is where the
there's no accountability.
That's where it shifts.
It's all the accountability, because all the women are sleeping with that 5 to 10%.
Yeah,
so women need the accountability. Agreed. The 5 to 10%, so we're
shared
no, I'm sorry. The majority of men do not have those options. That's not. Women, if 80% of women are choosing these 5 to 10%, ma'am, you have not you, sweetheart. I'm just talking in general. No, when I say ma'am, I'm just talking. So I'm just saying, like, how are we going to blame men when it's 5 to 10% that's getting 80% of the women out here? It's us women. If 5 to 10% of women were choosing to sleep with those 5 to 10% men, let them go off and do their thing. But we have women in mass, the majority of women that are giving themselves to these low quality Tyrones, Pookies, and Ray Rays that don't care when there's good men that are right around you, but you don't want him because he's corny.
And only one influences the outcome of your relationship. Like the man sleeping with multiple women, it's not going to influence the outcome of his relationship, but it sure as hell is going to influence the outcome of hers for her future husband.
Yeah,
but
absolutely.
we now live
So
in
that
a
makes
time
it okay
where,
though?
But we live in a time where we can watch
It's
all
like-
of these TikTok videos with these street interviews, and the guys are asking girls about what have you done, what have you got to confess, and these girls are saying they've been ran through, they've had 5 guys in one night, and we've now got to the point. Yeah, we've got to the point.
Are
Even
you?
more than
Are
that.
you? Do you not believe that sex outside of marriage is wrong?
So yes, but
Yeah.
but do you still partake? Yes, right. So in modern culture, it's relevant, right?
Then you're
But
blaming culture.
I'm not blaming culture.
You're
That's
saying-
just what.
you're
That's the
saying that-
reality
no,
of it, right?
it's not,
That's a fact
because
that
you're
people are having
you're-
sex.
right, but that's you as an individual. You have individual accountability. So I don't care what culture is doing. I make a choice with my box. Culture is not going to give me STD.
Absolutely.
Culture is not going to make me. Culture is not going to take care of when I have a I'm an unwed mother. Culture is not going to take care of those things. I am responsible for my body, my who I give my body to, who I have soul ties to. If you choose to spread your legs open in these streets, society did not make you do that. You made the choice to lay down with all of those men, and you can and putting it on that men need to take accountability. You chose to bust it open for that F boy or that Pookie.
Change
That
the
is
narrative.
your choice.
However,
Go ahead, man. Go off.
however, I'll say this:
Go off.
when your society tells you that something is okay. So what we've seen within the past 10 years is a spike in people that are calling themselves non-binary and trans. Right? We've seen a spike in it. Why? Because the society has said it's okay to be that way.
That's still their
Right?
choice.
Right. It is their choice. But I'm saying we have to understand that when society says something is
has an
okay,
impact on it.
it has an impact on individuals. Like
That's just the reality.
because there's a reason why you don't allow your children to watch certain things on TV,
but-
right?
but you can't
control
hang on,
society.
hang on.
This is a-
But
No,
society impacts you. You live in society every single day. It
but
has
hang
to
on.
be.
But hang on, there's a reason why you don't allow your children to watch certain things on TV. There's a reason why you don't allow your children to go around certain people. Why? Because as much as you could teach your child and say, don't do this, that's wrong, right? Your child can still be influenced,
Right.
by a certain
but
group
it's still
of people.
your choice, even as a child.
Right.
It's your choice who you surround yourself with. Like I remember being like a kid and thinking these
Me
girls were
too.
mad,
Right.
and thinking
Me
these girls
too.
were crazy. And it's like even as a child, you have some accountability for the friends you choose to surround yourself with.
But
Pearl,
where does accountability
Pearl,
come from? It comes from the influences. It comes from our society. And all I'm saying is we can't discredit
No,
the
no, it
impact that
doesn't.
society
Accountability
and
is not
influences
come
gives
from
you.
No,
society.
You can't do that.
No,
I think
no,
accountability.
I don't agree.
Accountability comes from yourself and the ability to take.
Where
like,
does
to
where is
take
that shaped from
ownership.
though?
But listen,
how do you
every,
know what
every
is
woman,
good or what
listen,
you should
listen,
what you
every
should
woman,
decide?
every woman that has laid down with the 5 to 10% man, there is another woman who was raised in similar circumstances or worse that made a different decision. So that's where your accountability is, because you can have all the excuses, society, everybody, all of this, but there is another person out there that made a different and a better choice. Just because you were born in that, then you have to say, why did they make a better choice and I chose to do this? So if one person in the world made a better choice than you, then you have to say society didn't influence them. Society didn't do this. Why am I so weak? Why am I so unaccountable that I want to blame everyone else? If one person has made a better choice than you, then you need to rise to the cream of the crop. But so many of us are at the bottom. We want to be like everybody else. We want to be regular. We want to be below average, and we don't strive for excellence in anything that we do.
Who creates society?
I think we're missing something.
The 1% of men do.
Who? No, I'm saying like who passes on culture in a family?
Exactly. And that's
Yeah.
the one thing that
That's
we're
missing. It
we're
is
talking
missing.
about the individual and we're talking about society. We have completely neglected the home and the family because I would argue that if an older woman had told this younger lady or any younger lady that this is how boys see you, if you do that, you would act differently if someone had told you that. I think men do a much better job of checking each other because men see themselves in younger men. Women see themselves as younger women. So a man...
Bars.
Gospel.
She's good.
You better teach.
Hey.
Sorry, continue.
A man looks at his life in phases. He knew he was a boy. He knew he was a young man. He knew he was, a bachelor. And then he's like, I'm ready to set it down. A woman doesn't do that. A woman still thinks, even though I'm 40 or 50 or whatever, I can still twerk like a little girl. I can still wear revealing clothing. I think there's something.
Sierra. Sorry, go on.
My goodness.
Savannah
Well, she's
James.
talking
Let's
facts.
talk about Savannah James.
Wouldn't you guys